Oh yeah. So anyhow, I moved to Delray in Boynton Beach, Florida, and I had the run of a restaurant. Sat close to 500 people. Ugh, did I have the time of my life? You know, people talk about, oh, I got girls. I really did. Not even lying to you. Then of course I, actually got engaged to a girl. First time ever engaged to a girl. I swear it was Demi Moore's double. Of course, like me, I cried a million. I got my 5 engagements. Let me tell you, girls would break up with me and I cried for months. Ooh, months. And years later, I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't stalk anybody, alrighty? But, I think like maybe 10 years ago, I actually got in contact with this girl, all right? Told me to drive down to Palm Beach, not Palm Beach, to Tampa Bay, right? Knew my whole situation, the whole deal. I was there 2 days, and she actually kissed me a couple of times, and then she gets a phone call from an old lesbian friend, and she threw me out. Then of course I went to go see my mom. Swear to God, that's true. But anyhow, I had the run of my life there, and now what the hell was I talking about? Where did the vintage tie into this? Again, I screwed it up. So let's see. Vintage. And this is why, kids, why you really, all kidding aside, we'll go off to the other tangent about, yeah, you can do things as well as when you're stoned and when you're not stoned. Sure you can. No, you can't. You can't drive anywhere near as well. And if I gave you one of those hard plastic things, that something that comes in those hard plastic things that are impossible to open, try doing it when you're stoned and when you're not. So don't fucking, don't drive stoned. You know the sad part about pot? If people could do it like they drink, like social drinkers, like me, I'm a social drinker. Well, I haven't had a drink in a long time, but I'm a social drinker, and I love to laugh my ass off. But when I drink, before I was broke all the time, I'd have a couple of Southern Comforts, or a couple of Grey Goosey martinis. See? But, that was it. Once or twice a week, so on and so forth. And when I get drunk, alrighty? Not a fan of drinking and driving at all. So, I think I only did that twice. Once when I was 21 and once and I didn't even realize it, and that was unpleasant. So that's nothing anybody should ever do. But, so I just gave you that lesson. Shit, where was I going before that? I went from smoking pot to drinking and driving. Where was I going before that? In Florida. Girl broke my heart, Lynn. Let's see. Alright, how bad is this that I gotta stop this freaking thing again? Anyhow, it's actually easy to download it. I'm just learning how to do all these things. I've downloaded them before, but now I'm finding easier ways. Aren't you all lucky? Alright, more poker tips. Oh, alright. So I know I left off somewhere, but alright, I can't be perfect. So now, getting back to the gambling, to the dogs, alright? When I lived in Florida, I loved the dog track. I loved the freaking dog track. Now, I also waited, besides the other things I did at the restaurant, all right? I happened to wait on a guy named Dick Andrews, and he was one of the biggest dog owners in actually in all of Florida, besides just Palm Beach. And I waited on him and told him, I love the dog track, so on and so forth. And he explained to me, he says, I never bet my dogs to win, like bigger. And he explained to me, you can't fix a dog race, meaning you can't fix it for the dog to win, because there's things that happen, there's bumping, so on and so forth. So unlike horsies, oh my God, do I got your stories there? Alrighty, my biggest downfall. Alright, um, the dogs, you can't fix the race to win. Now, the biggest advantage of the dogs is this. Unlike trotters, oh my God, crook, 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 crook. Unlike trotters, they actually run every week. The flats, sometimes the horses, some of them, like the winter shit tracks, already at Aqueduct, it almost seems like they're running every week, but I mean, maybe it's a month, but some horses don't run for 6-8 months. So the big advantage you have with the dog track is the fact that the dogs run average on 2.5 times a week. So what that means is this. What that means is that you're able to handicap them so much better. You can follow them. And the program only goes down about, I'm going to say, 10 races. So 10 races could be, 4 weeks, a month. Alrighty? 10 races could be 3 years with the flats. The trotters, oh my God. I'll get on to know more stories about the trotters. Let's put it this way. When you used to get a tip on a trotter, or when you still do, the thing they always told you was this. We haven't tried with him for the last few weeks. Tonight we're trying with him. So what that means is not only, of course, so many drivers are actually fixing the numbers, but half the horses, if there's 8 of them or 10 of them, aren't trying. It's not they're fixing it to win, they're just not trying. And that's what they do. And the truth is, everybody knows it, and you still can't get, in other words, and the places were packed, and they still are packed. But when it comes to the dogs, here's the cool thing. I think horse racing is disgusting. We're all idiots. Do you know that the first 2 sports they came back after the pandemic were freaking golf? Now, I love golf. I played for 12 years. Hey, I actually played decently, like a legitimate 12. But if we gambled, I choked like a dog. And I couldn't putt. Oh, did I choke when I putt? Plus, I'm actually completely blind in my left eye. But, see, when we went with the pandemic thing, who was the first thing back was, as I mentioned, golf, and then horses. Now, when all these billionaires and what have you that own the horses and stuff got to run them right away, did they triple the apprentices' income? Did they triple it? No. But how do these places get elected to go first? Golf people aren't close. Sure they're not. And the first sports to go on. So, anyhow, the problem with the dog track is, number one, there's never enough money in the pool. And that was even the Super Derbies in Hollywood. Here's a story for you. All right? And as I've mentioned before, I've been with many, 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 many ladies of the evening. Alrighty? Don't deny it. I have 3 addictions. Besides attention and laughing my ass off. And being righteous, what have you. One is, of course, gambling. The other is shopping, and the other is sex. So, there I am. I just moved to Florida. And where do you hear all my police stories? Right? I just moved to Florida. Maybe I was there 6 months. I got a white, big T-bird. Big monster thing. 77, or I think a 77 T-Bird. It was white with like a pink lipstick, not pink, but a cherry red lipstick, really thick pinstriping around it. So now, what happens is, I'm coming, and when you come home up Interstate 1 in Fort Lauderdale and, in Hollywood, there's many areas where the ladies of the evening walk, alrighty? And I was going to mention I frequent them, but I'm coming home from the dog track from Hollywood, going up to Boynton Beach or Delray Beach, wherever I lived, and all of a sudden, there's a tunnel that maybe it's 200-yard long tunnel that separates, I think, Hollywood or Davie, whatever it is, from Fort Lauderdale. And I'm driving along. It's right past where all the hookers was, and I get pulled over. Alrighty, I don't get pulled over by one or two. I get pulled over by minimum 7, 8 freaking cops and detectives. Alrighty, I'm freaking out, and this is exactly what happened. I get pulled over, and I'm shitting, and I go, don't move, keep your hand out, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, they come up to me. I go, what's going on? You know what's going on? Get out of the car. Get out of the car. What's going on? There's a guy you were described by 2 different people shooting a shotgun at the ladies of the evening down the block. Now, oh God, I'm new to Florida. I'm scared fucking if it's going to happen to anybody, it's going to be, believe me, I got plenty of those stories to tell you. And I'm shitting in my pants. I'm saying, oh my God, who set me up? So, we open the trunk, and I'm looking in the fucking trunk because I'm thinking there's a shotgun in there. Alrighty? But there was no shotgun. So, now, look at this. Actually, remember what I was talking about. The doggies. What happens, we should all, or you should all, never bet another horse again. Alrighty? Or phase it out. Give the people in the business 5 years or so, whatever it might be. Alright? Because that's about as, like even the trotters, they race when a little bit older. Yeah, okay? Give them 6 years to phase it out. Alright? And the dogs, people think the dogs get hurt. They're treated mostly like gold. Like gold. And wouldn't that be the best freaking thing to really help, people in trouble, people in prison, people looking to do the right thing, or to have the freaking dog and be able to take care of them? All right? Of course, there'll be many gambling lessons, but the dogs is the fairest thing in the world. And I think there's, I think you call them, I call them corgis, but corgis, alrighty? I think they run fast. Of course, the greyhounds. And holy shit, would that solve a lot of problems, alrighty? And there's an expression, oh, hello, Led Zeppelin. Take my hand, child. Oh, by the way, if you think I'm nuts, I could give a fuck less. I don't hear voices. Thank God. And speaking of God, I truly, truly believe there's a God out there. He or she or what I believe to God doesn't speak to me directly in any way. But they've shown me, or he or she or whatever it might be, has shown me a really cool time, and I hope it lasts a lot longer. See now, Zeppelin, man, I'm taking a chance. Boop, boop, boop. So now, it's going to come up there. So now, with the doggies, if you actually did that, it would be the coolest thing ever, ever, ever. Everybody wins. Okay? Everybody, even the dogs win. All right? So that's another one. Now, here's the fourth one. And of course, you're going to get a story for everything. When I was, I can't even tie it out with mentioning this now. Only goes to show that you will be mine. I'm taking a chance. Boop, boop. Oh, by the way, I dance all the freaking time. Dancing. Something I read, it said, focus on your goals and dance your way through the rest of life. You should all dance all the time and laugh. Let me tell you something that works. Number one, and number two, I might as well, let's see, I'm going to remember where I was on the dogs. Oh, yes, I will get back to roulette and the roulette story. All right, well, I'll talk about the dancing and so on later. All righty, but it's true. Oh, yeah, I know what it is. I got to get back to roulette and Freddie Milano, Freddie Belmont, and my buddies the Belmonts. So here's what actually a guy named Freddie Milano, years ago there was a group called Dion and the Belmonts, and I had never met Dion, but they sing the song The Wanderer, Run Around Sue. Why must I be a teenager in love? Here's my story, it's sad but true, about a girl that I once knew. Well, I'm the kind of guy that likes to roam around. Look at this, I'm singing The Wanderer when Mr. Plant is singing Led Zeppelin. Oh, saw Zeppelin when I was 15, don't remember a thing, but saw Page and Plant at the beach. They were phenomenal. As a matter of fact, the guy in the wheelchair, Buff, he was at that concert. Buff was a ticket guy. Buff was a scammy kind of business, still is, and it's another thing I'll talk about, where somebody got hung for something they really shouldn't have got hung for so bad. But, yep, saw Page and Plant at the beach. They were great. Now, where was I there before that? Ooh. Oh, yes, roulette. Now, when I was 14, my mother, my beautiful, beautiful mother, my friends were so fucked up, and I was from Massapequa. Yeah, your buddy Alec Baldwin. Believe me, we'll talk about him a lot. Holy shit. So now, what I'll say to you is this. My friends were so bad that my mother forged my birth certificate when I was 14 to say that I was 16 so I could go hang out in the pool room. She felt I was safer there with my older brother, all right, and away from all my degenerate friends. Well, I did to get to one of the best educations in the world, but of course one of the worst. Oh, and here come the doors. You know, the day destroys the night. So now, what happens is the Belmonts used to hang out there. Frankie, name is Frankie Sheeran, Freddie Milano, who was like my ultimate buddy, and Angelo, I apologize, I don't remember your last name, and Warren. But it was mostly Frankie, the sweetest man in the freaking world. The night handsome as a day is long. Wound up actually, I hung out with him for a while, then he wound up actually in Boynton Beach also, and as much as he was, you know, had every girl in the world, so on and so forth, he met this beautiful girl, Rita, and they went down there, but Frankie didn't have a lot of money, and he worked hard, and he actually worked in one of the nice restaurants down there at the Banana Boat, and he actually did cleanup there. And the sweetest, most gentle, kind man in the world, and lots of fun. But Freddie Milano was my buddy. I loved him. I worked with him even after the pool room stuff. I had a telemarketing company, worked there, and he had the best sense of humor in the freaking world. Oh, did I love Freddie. So anyhow, now, where the freak was I going telling you about? Why was I telling you about when I was 14, Mom forged my birth certificate? Why was I telling you about the gambling? So now, shit. Why was I thinking about growing up in the gambling? I gotta go back and play this one back. Got no chance. Got no choice. And believe me, I'm taking all this 1,000,000% seriously. But I waited for this tape for a long time, and I think things are finally going to get really good for me. And then I'm really going to need that bulletproof car. Because I'm going to insult the shit out of a lot of people. Can I give you another gambling tip before where I was talking about the dogs? The horsies. All right, yeah. Let me give you a little lowdown on gambling. I've been with 10 women. Excuse me. I've been with 2 women 10 or 11 times in my life at the same time. 2 other times I almost didn't pay for it. But this was, of course, in Atlantic City, wherever it might have been, me paying for 2 ladies of the night. And it's great. It's great. Now, I'm a Scorpio, so I'm a horny bastard. And even to this day, wow, I haven't kissed a girl in 15 years. Been to some rub and tugs along the way. A couple of girls that walked the street too, when the car worked. But besides that. So anyhow, being with 2 women is great. It lasts for half an hour if you can only come once. But me, thank God, I can last an hour and I can come twice, which is great. But here's the thing. After that, it's over. Gambling, on the other hand, okay, is non-stop excitement. Non-stop. And may I also interject here and ask a couple of questions. Number one, we all talk about our happy endings. See, now me, I'm not a happy ending guy. I get a happy ending, but I also get a happy beginning. Because, when I finally go to the massage parlor, alrighty? Yeah, massage is nice. All I'm thinking about is the hand job, blow job, or whatever the fuck I'm getting at the end of the massage, or more, whatever it might be. That's all I'm thinking about. So how can I enjoy the massage? So yes, okay, to me, I don't want a happy ending. I want a happy beginning. And then, after that, you calm as can be, you get the massage, and then you get the happy ending. How do you not do that? And here's another thing. People get Viagra, all right? Now, this is just me being cute and funny. Now, thank God I don't need it. But people get Viagra, and they always say, and we'll send it in a discreet package. And me, if I haven't needed it, I wouldn't send it in a discreet package. I'd want the brightest, biggest package anybody could ever see. Hey, yeah, at least I'm getting some. All right. So now, let's see. Okay. I'm going to explain to you, for real, once I hang this one up. I'm going to explain to you, for real, the way you can truly, I know what it is. I got to go back to Freddie Belmont. So anyhow, Freddie liked to gamble. He was a big gambler. His wife loved to gamble. Well, and she had great people. All right, but what I'll say is this: Freddie wasn't like a huge gambler. Well, all that aside, all right, he was a freaking great guy, and he would say, "What was I born tomorrow?" But he actually showed me something, and to me, believe me, when I say systems, alrighty, I'm a street guy, but what he showed me in roulette, if you could not defy. What's the word? I'm looking with that really cool guy who disproves all these creeps who say they see people and talk to people and so on and so forth. The psychics and oh my God, how do people get away with this shit? So now I just got off the beaten track of, oh yeah, so back to the roulette. What he said to me is this: if you take 4 spots on the roulette wheel, now I'm using a roulette wheel with 2 zeros. If you use one, your odds are even a little better. But just to make it easier for you, okay, we're going to use all 38 numbers. If you divide the 38 numbers into 4, alrighty, 38 and a half numbers, 38 and a half actually, alrighty. The odds are, if you divide that into 4 spots on the wheel, look at me, I'm talking in capital letters, alrighty. Your odds of hitting are 9.5 to 1. Let's just say you picked 0, 00, 1, and 2. They don't have to be they can be any 4 spots on the wheel, but you play them the same 4 spots. Your odds of hitting are 9.5 to 1. So he was with Freddie. I miss you, Freddie. You were one of the few that, this guy never did a thing wrong to me. I loved you, you knucklehead. So now, and a lot of not done anything wrong by me. I shouldn't say one of the few. So now, and here's the cool part, and I've been saving back forever. I can't wait to pay everybody back every dime I ever borrowed, and there's tons of them. And a lot are going to get a lot more than